Hey everyone, Theo Kaler here, the news editor at Runner's World. The Olympic marathon trials are coming up this weekend and you're not going to want to miss it. The best marathoners in the country are set to compete in Orlando on Saturday morning for a chance to represent Team USA at this summer's Olympics. The top 3 women and top 2 men with an Olympic qualifying time will punch their tickets to Paris. But the third place man with a qualifying time will have to wait a few months to see if their world ranking's high enough to make it. This might sound kind of confusing, but my advice is to not worry about the details and just cheer for the top 3 on both sides. It should be a fun day either way. Here's a look at some of the top contenders in each race. The women's field is stacked this year with a lot of familiar faces. Emily Sisson is probably the favorite to win. At the 2020 trials, she dropped out at mile 21, but since then, she's broken the American record in the marathon, running 2:18:29 at Chicago in 2022. Betsy Sina should also be up there. After giving birth to her son in 2021, she's been on fire lately. She placed 5th at Tokyo last year and also won the Sydney Marathon. Another mom, Kira D'Amato, will be looking to make her first Olympic team. She was the American record holder in the marathon before Sisson broke it. Plus, the Virginia native also has some impressive half-marathon speed. Sarah Hall and Molly Seidel will also be looking to crack the top 3. Seidel took bronze in the marathon at the Tokyo Olympics, and she's coming off a big PR at Chicago in October. And Hall, who turned 40 last year, owns the 4th fastest American marathon at 2:20:32. They should be right in the mix of things. Also keep an eye on Lindsay Flanagan, Sarah Vaughn, and the winner of the 2020 trials, Alafine Tuliamuk. The men's race at the Olympic trials should be a fun one. Connor Mance and Clayton Young come in with the 2 fastest times in the field by a pretty big margin. They both had really good days at the Chicago Marathon last fall. Mance ran 2:07:47 to take 6th overall, and Young was right behind him, finishing in a big PR of 2:08 flat. The former BYU teammates still train together in Utah, so look for them at the front. Also keep an eye out for Galen Rupp. He's one of the older competitors in the race at 37, but he's made every Olympic team since 2008. Oh yeah, and he has an Olympic medal in the marathon from 2016. He finished right behind Clayton Young at Chicago, and he's been in good form lately after dealing with a back injury in 2022. Sam Chalanga has gone head-to-head with Galen Rupp many times throughout his career, and he has a good shot at making his first Olympic team. Chalanga briefly retired in 2018, but he felt himself being called back to the sport. He owns a PR of 2:08:50, which he set last year. There's also Scott Fauble, who's been the top American at the Boston Marathon 3 times. Last year, he finished 7th at the race, but at the Berlin Marathon in September, he had to drop out around mile 18 because of stomach issues. A few other men to watch: Butsum Zina Selassie, Leonard Career, Zach Panning, and Elkanah Kibet. Plus, you can't forget about Paul Chalimo. He's never run a marathon, but I think he could be the wild card of the race. The dude's got 2 Olympic medals in the 5K. Here's a quick look at the trials course. The race starts in downtown Orlando, but the bulk of it will be on an 8-mile loop that mostly runs parallel to a highway. They'll do that loop 3 times. Overall, the course is pretty flat, much flatter than the Atlanta trials in 2020. There's a few small hills, but nothing that's really going to disrupt the race too much. It could actually make for some pretty fast times, assuming the weather cooperates. It can get warm and humid in Orlando, even in the winter, and the start time has already been moved earlier than it was originally scheduled. The route finishes back in downtown Orlando, where big crowds are expected. Kira D'Amato is pretty excited for the finish.
It feels like the way you want a marathon finish to feel. It feels special, it feels like just iconically beautiful, and with the lake as the backdrop. I mean, you're so happy to be done running, but I think to have this beautiful park welcoming you when you're done, I think it's going to be kind of extraordinary.
You can watch all the action on February 3rd starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. NBC will also be broadcasting the race on a tape delay at noon. And be sure to check out Runner's World all weekend. We'll be on the ground giving you everything you need to know. Who do you think's going to make Team USA? Do you have any bold predictions? Let us know in the comments.